So, your boss asks you to dig up some fresh insights for a new ad campaign targeting baby boomers on TikTok. What do? Search the web all day and find an article from 2019? No, you run a YouGov survey and come back with real answers from real Americans today. YouGov's self-service platform lets you create targeted surveys in minutes and start getting results after just 1 hour with pricing starting at $1 per response. Visit yougov.com/podcast to run your first survey free. Standard terms and conditions apply.
This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 945. How to Be Your Own Boss and Ditch Your Day Job by Preston Lee with IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. And I am Dan, I'm your personal narrator. Thanks so much for being with me here today, and we're going to hear from I Will Teach You to Be Rich, which is Ramit Sethi's site, and Preston Lee is one of the guest writers there. So I will tell you a little bit more about Ramit and the site right after the post, but let's get to it now as we optimize your life. How to Be Your Own Boss and Ditch Your Day Job by Preston Lee with IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. If you decide to be your own boss, it's a dramatic change from the typical 9-to-5 cubicle prison you've been working in. You will become a business owner and in charge of your financial destiny and future career. You are in control. With the flexibility of working whenever and wherever you want, being your own boss can be a major contributor to living a truly rich life. But that doesn't mean you should march into your manager's office, quit your job, and start a business this afternoon, although you could. 4 tips for building a great business, allowing you to be your own boss. These tips come from over a decade of coaching freelancers, side hustlers, and solopreneurs. Let's dive in. Tip 1, start on the side. If you spend a lot of time daydreaming about being your own boss or listening to podcasts about starting a business, it can be tempting to just quit your job and make it work. But unless you have a huge nest egg to draw on for a few months or years while you get your business running smoothly, quitting your job may not necessarily be the best option. Yeah, it works for some people to just quit and work from home cold turkey. But for many others, they too quickly run out of money, can't earn money fast enough, and then can't pay rent or put food on the table and go running back to their day job. Instead, I recommend you start a side hustle first. My business, which I now work from home running full-time, started as a side hustle. I built it up a few hours a day for over 7 years. When the moment was right, I finally took it full-time in order to be my own boss. There are a few key reasons it's a good idea to start a side hustle before taking the leap. Here are a few. 1. A side hustle will test your dedication to running a business. If you don't have the drive or passion to run a side hustle, you won't have the passion to run a full-time business. 2. A side hustle will help build up your financial runway. In order to build a smart business, you'll need some cushion. Use funds from your full-time job and side hustle to build up some savings before taking the leap. 3. A side hustle will help you get some traction in your business. Starting a business from scratch can be daunting. Better to do it while you have the safety net of a job than when literally everything is riding on your success. And 4. A side hustle will help you develop the skill set you need to run a business. Running a business is nothing like the work you do daily in your cubicle, unless you're running a giant department. A side hustle will allow you to build up your entrepreneurial skill set, management skills, and see what it's like to work from home. Tip 2. Pick a simple, low-cost business model. In order to put a business idea into motion, you'll need to sell a product or service. That's just simple business. If your goal is to be your own boss quickly, one fast way to get there is by picking a simple, low-cost business model, like freelancing, consulting, or otherwise hiring out your own services and expertise. If you're a designer, writer, developer, artist, or otherwise creative, you already have the skill set you need to be your own boss and work from home. With a laptop, some basic supplies, and some hard work, you can begin to find potential clients for your business and become a freelance writer, designer, developer, or hundreds of other options depending on your skill set. You don't have to find investors with a lot of money, write up a 100-page business plan, get a degree in management skills, or lease an office in order to be a business owner or be your own boss. For some business ideas, you don't even need money to get started, depending on the product or service you offer. Here are a few questions to ask yourself when determining if your business model is a good idea. 1. Can I start this business idea with equipment and assets I already own? Do I have the technology and tools I need to start this business from home today? If not, how much will I have to spend to be up and running? 2. How much will it cost me today to start this business idea? Can I begin operating my business today without making a huge financial investment? And 3, how quickly can this business start generating cash flow? How long until I actually earn money from this business idea? The quicker, the better. Tip 3, quit when the time is right. When I was unexpectedly let go from my day job, along with half the company I was hired by only a few months earlier, I decided it was time. I was finally going to be my own boss. After a few weeks of working for myself, I started wondering, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Being my own boss has literally been one of the best things to ever happen to me. But without the push of getting laid off, I might have found myself working for someone else forever. That's a scary thought. But I've also met people who jump too soon, assuming that since they hate their job, they must be cut out for self-employment and ready to work from home, even though they have no idea what product or service they could offer, that somehow they'll make a lot of money working for themselves. It rarely works that way. That's why it's critical that you quit your full-time job when the timing is just right. Not too soon, but not too early. How can you predict the right timing? Here are a few ways. 1. Consider quitting when you have enough financial runway. For some people, a healthy financial runway amounts to 3 months of cushion. For others, it's 2 years. Considering what we all went through this past year, Ramit recommends a year's worth of cushion, up from 6 months before COVID. 2. Consider quitting when your side hustle reaches a revenue goal. Again, this comes down to personal preference. If you're making as much or more at your side hustle than at your full-time job, putting in a fraction of the hours, maybe it's time to take the leap. And 3, don't consider quitting when you have a bad day at the office. Bad days are just part of life. Having a bad day at work is not a reason to quit your job and become an entrepreneur, unless everything else is in order. And tip 4, just start. Finally, my best advice to you if you're tired of working your day job and want to be your own boss is to just get started. Most people in your shoes do far too much reading articles, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, developing your skill set, and daydreaming. You'll never be your own boss that way. The only way you'll ever be your own boss is to take action. Even if it's something small, like attracting your first potential clients, it can lead to eventual huge gains and put you on the path to a successful business and a rich life. So just start. Before you read or listen or watch another piece of advice, go do something. You've got this. Before you know it, you'll be packing up your cubicle, leaving your full-time job behind, and you'll be your own boss. You just listened to the post titled How to Be Your Own Boss and Ditch Your Day Job by Preston Lee with IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. The thing about running your own business is every single hire counts. But finding great talent doesn't have to be a second job. You can reclaim your time and find top talent fast with Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform helping over 3 million businesses worldwide to do it all. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates. Over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates the moment they sponsor a job. Now, I especially love Indeed's Instant Match feature because candidates you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to US Indeed data. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/startup to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/startup. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. The tech industry is having a rough season. Especially for startups compared to prior years, fundraising is increasingly hard and every dollar counts. Enter our sponsor, Notion. Notion helps startups, including us here at the Optimal Living Daily Network, save money by consolidating multiple tools you'd otherwise use for documentation, collaboration, and project management. Because of this, Notion can be a central hub for your teams to do the majority of their work. Whatever project is on your plate, Notion AI lets you skip to the good part. Save time and write faster by letting Notion AI handle the brainstorm and first draft, or turn your messy notes into something polished. Notion is now offering eligible startups up to 6 months free for their Plus plan, plus unlimited AI for that 6 months through the Notion for Startups program. Apply for your startup's free Plus access today at notion.com/OSD. And when you use our link, you're supporting our show. Start saving your startup some money and apply for Notion for Startups today at notion.com/OSD. And when you use our link, you're supporting our show. And thanks so much to Preston for this great article. He is a contributor at I Will Teach You to Be Rich, which of course is run by Ramit Sethi. And the site covers personal finance and entrepreneurship. Ramit is a really popular writer with a best-selling book of the same name, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He studied social influence and persuasion at Stanford and previously co-founded PBWorks, a Silicon Valley collaboration startup. And he is narrated frequently over on Optimal Finance Daily, a show that I hosted for a few years. So please do check out that show for a lot more from Ramit. And that's it for today. I thank you as always for being here. Hope you enjoyed our post today from I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and I'll see you back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.